Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome back again to our weekly reading Risale Nur and our halakha, our gathering. And thank you so much for being with us this week again. All right, we're going to be together with, as usual, our friends from Kolnujan from England. He's going to be joining us, and hopefully shortly. And then we have another guest from Turkey, Salih Uzaslan, and then also Hikmet Burak from Arizona. Hikmet Hocam also will be with us. All right, we're going to continue reading a fifth principle. So far, we have finished all just the first fourth of the four principles. We're going to continue reading 10th word. And I think like last week we finished fourth principle. And let's begin. Let's start with the fifth principle. All right. Bismillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. All right. So Buddhism goes with fifth principle like this. You will understand that all of these transient objects have not been created simply in order to be annihilated. They have not been designed to appear for a few moments and then vanish. Rather, the purpose of their creation is that they should be assembled and given a form, and that their form should be noted, their images preserved, their meanings made known, and their results recorded. This is so that everlasting sights and scenes may be woven for the people of eternity, and so that they may serve various other purposes there. You will understand that things have actually been created for eternity and not simply to appear and then go to nothingness. As for the apparent annihilation that is death, this is in reality merely the release from service, which comes after the completion of duties. For while on one level all things face annihilation, on another level, and from many other aspects, they remain and they endure eternally. Consider, for example, a flower, which is like a word of divine power. For a short time, the flower looks at us, smiling, and then hides behind the veil of annihilation. It departs in the same way that a word departs from the lips. But when a word leaves your lips, as it departs, it entrusts thousands of its fellows to men's ears. In other words, it leaves behind meanings in human minds as numerous as those minds. The flower, too, expresses a certain meaning, and having fulfilled that duty, departs. But as it departs, it leaves a visual impression of its form in the memory of everything and everyone that has seen it. And it leaves something of its inner essence in every seed. It is as if each memory and each seed were a camera recording the beauty and decorativeness of the flower. It is as if every memory and every seed were the means for its perpetuation. If this is so, in the case of a humble creature like a flower, think of what it means when we apply the principle to human beings, the highest form of life and the possessors of souls that desire eternity. You can see then how closely connected humankind is to eternity and the desire for everlastingness. The laws according to which large flowering and fruit-bearing plants are formed, and according to which the images of their forms are preserved and perpetuated with the utmost regularity in tiny seeds, often in the most tempestuous of circumstances, those laws can be seen as the spirits of those plants. Now, if the spirit of a plant ties that plant so firmly to eternity, how much more firmly tied to eternity is the human spirit, a being far more exalted and comprehensive in nature than a plant? The human spirit, like the spirit of the plant, is also a kind of law, but one which is conscious and luminous, issued directly from the divine command. Now, what a beautifully written, what a beautifully articulated way of kind of talking to us. To start with Islam, and I guess like just now here, it is a little kind of theoretical, a little just maybe philosophical, just a little high end, and how beautifully he just shows a great metaphor and great example for us to contemplate. And again, like I guess that the only thing that I cannot understand is just he wants us, our observation to directly to be like basically diverted to the nature, the beautiful, like the universe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created. And He wants us to become witness. I believe this is the message I'm getting so far, just to a little kind of prelude for you guys, like to give. And I didn't want to even want just basically stop and take a new breath because the way that he's just giving us this great kind of analogy and at the same time the description of like it's just now depiction of this beautiful nature that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surround us. Now, I'd like to turn to our panelists, and maybe we should start from Salucam, like from Turkey. So, what do you have on your mind that you would like to share with us, especially the fifth principle? So far, I know like the first four, and yeah, just do your best to connect it, like or maybe just if you can, to the earlier ones, or maybe just share with us, like, what do you think about this, like, the beautiful and the flower example, and of course the word example, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and just one and his names. So, Hocam, floor is yours.
Uh, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, first of all. So this fifth principle is
Mhm,
concerned a lot about the misconception that things are transient, so they should be, you know, going going to annihilation, just like we
mhm,
observe it, we see it. But Ustad is explaining the matter using seeds and flowers. So before proceeding, I would like to emphasize a critical point,
mhm,
actually a point that has been a source of criticisms to the way
mhm,
Risale-i Nur is approaching to the creation and trying to explain materials
mhm.
pertaining to Iman.
Yeah.
So many parts of the Risale-i Nur is explaining those Iman-related issues using
Mhm,
seed, flowers, and springtime. And
mhm,
often I mean, in the past, not nowadays too often, but in the past, I used to receive criticisms which tells, okay, you guys are only worried about, the seeds and flowers, but the world is going in a different direction. So the Muslim
mhm,
community is having so many tribulations and
mhm,
going through so many challenges. What is the
mhm,
point of focusing on flowers and seeds,
mhm,
and
mhm,
to them it felt like childish and kind of we were having some sort of romantic relation with Quran. But actually,
mhm,
Allah
mhm,
is doing the same thing. Allah is pointing to
mhm,
the birds, for example, or the springtime. Uh, I think it was in Surah Al-Mulk.
mhm,
أولم يروا إلى الطير فوقهم صافات ويقبضن ما يمسكون إلا الرحمن إنه بكل شيء بصير. If I'm not wrong, this is from Surah Al-Mulk. And also
mhm,
the uh, revitalization or recreation of all the beings, all the animate beings, and also the nature in the springtime is also
mhm.
mentioned in Quran. So
Yeah.
this is some pedagogical, notion about how to seek for our Creator in the creation, and I started touching the very basic, very basis of this phenomenon, and this telling us, look, the seeds and the flowers are the manifestations um, of Allah's names, which a clear indicator that nothing is going to annihilation, because the seed, when it is kind of buried under the earth, the soil. In the next springtime, it springs and it gets out of the, gets into the air realm. And then it doesn't just have a simple life form, but it becomes so beautiful that everybody wants to see those flowers. And everybody has a copy of the appearance and the smell, and if it's a bee, let's say, the taste of that flower. So that seed is buried under the soil, but the next springtime comes and it takes a different form, which then can be becomes a source of attraction to many beings, and a copy of the meanings that are exhibited on that flower is kind of stored in
Hmm.
other form, and uh, and this is the way to proceed because um, in 23rd Flash, which is
Hmm.
about nature,
Hmm.
Ustad is putting a lot of effort in breaking the misconceptions that creation is happening by itself or through causes, or it is just nature that is happening outside that.
Hmm.
But that perspective is a thick veil. And only after tearing that veil, you see that whatever has been thought to be a source of misguidance, dalale, like
Hmm.
nature, tabiat, is
Excellent.
actually the source of contemplation and pondering and deep thinking about the creation and the
Absolutely.
creator, of course.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Saluja. Yeah, it was yeah, great comment. Yeah, really appreciate it. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, how lovely. Yeah, just you just took it from like one direction to another, and then of course just gave us like a great way of kind of like an spin angle. I really appreciate it. And I wanted to go to Kolmajam, but I think Kadurjam, do you have a question for now, or yeah, go ahead, please.
No, I just wanted to add something.
Please, please.
This paragraph is very crucial that most
Hmm.
of us we should have to explain them to ourselves and our family, sometimes to our
Right.
students too.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because Ustad here wants to explain the real purpose of the human being. Most
Hmm.
of the people, unfortunately, nowadays, they just think that they are going to live in this world in a short time and they
Hmm.
are going to be vanished. And
Hmm. Hmm.
sometimes it's unbelievable that they are proud of saying that we are going to vanish
Hmm.
and we are going to be nothing, for example, under the kabir or the cemetery. So Ustad
Hmm.
here says that the real purpose of the human being or their creation is not to be vanished, but on the other hand, Allah will
Hmm.
give them a new form, not
Hmm.
only like the human being. Also
Hmm.
we can enlarge in this one with all of the creatures, like
Hmm.
the animals or flowers. They will be also given some realities or perspectives in hereafter. So we
Hmm.
understand that human being will not demolish, will not vanish, will not annihilate it, and they will be created by Allah again in the hereafter, and they will
Hmm.
have the purpose about that. So these
Hmm.
paragraphs are really important, and
Hmm.
we have
Hmm.
to be keep in mind all the time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Perfect, perfect. Awesome. Thank you, Kadurjan. Yeah, appreciate it. Sadurjan, I think, yeah. Did you have a question or comment?
Yes, you know I have something. Yeah,
Please,
it's
no, no. I'd love to hear. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, thank you. It's
Hmm.
the example analogy given regarding the flower and seed. I think the first the brother mentioned, we used to hear and use those example explains difficult issues, make we can relate easily. But one thing in here seems a little unclear to me. I like to hear,
Hmm. Hmm.
which is it's again related to flower and seeds.
Hmm.
Seeds. I will. It's okay. I am going to read it. Okay. It's okay. Flowers comes and then leaves something for its inner instance every seed.
Mm-hmm.
The sentence I am reading, it is as if each memory and each seed were a camera recording the beauty and decorativeness of flower. It is as if every memory, and this is the actually I like highlight in my questions center. It is every memory and every seed were the means for its perpetuation. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so I will repeat it. Sorry, it's
Mm-hmm.
every memory and every seed were the means for its perpetuation.
Mm-hmm.
The part in example in here, seed easy to understand its perpetuation because seeds then with the trees and flowers grows and bring another seeds and keeps generating. But the point here, he says, every memory, the memory part is seemed to me a little complicated. Every memory and every seed were means for its perpetuations.
Mm-hmm.
So how should we understand the memory part here? I mean, the things, everything we memorize is this indication that is going to perpetuate.
Right.
How should we understand? How should
Gotcha.
we
Mm-hmm.
analyze? Yeah, because this is the
Gotcha.
memory. The
Mm-hmm.
seed part is clear.
Mm-hmm.
It's sky. Yeah, it's understandable. But the memory part,
Mm-hmm.
every memory, yeah, we see things and we somehow intentionally or unintentionally
Mm-hmm.
record in our memory.
Yeah.
So meaning, will they perpetuate? It's sign of perpetuation because we memorize this. Everything we memorize will be perpetuate.
Yeah.
I mean, how should we understand that part?
I
The
should
memories means for
Mhm.
perpetuation, yes.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. That would be a great kind of segue. So like, what Salah Hojam said, like now, the importance of it. Now he even brought it up. So like, it's been, why would you like, it's been keep like reading the simple kind of stuff and then like Iman and that now we are like facing the deportation and not just everyone, the secular kind of just the education system says like, yes, this is an annihilation. Like, we're going to get basically just, disappear and everything. It's like poof, like, just nothing's going to happen. And now just studies like talking about like in a memory and a seed and then the camera, like the perpetuation of a flower. And like how should we
Yes.
understand? And now let's just, call Najam. So now just give the question to him and then by to say like and just would be a kind of good segue for him to answer. And then let's also listen at the same time his comment on this. Najam, would you like to answer Said Najam's question? So how should we understand this part? And all just the comments like this is what we read and yeah, I'm kind of curious. Yeah. Go ahead.
Bismillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, I was thinking I was gonna comment on the passage. I wasn't
Mhm.
thinking there would be a question thrown in just before, but
Yeah,
Said,
that's
brother
nice. Yeah.
Said,
Yeah.
it it's an interesting question.
Interesting.
Memory and preservation are very closely tied together, of course, and memory is very strange.
Mhm.
It is an echo of preservation. Everything is preserved in memory, and also
Mhm.
it's not just preservation; it's protection as well. So the memory protects our understanding of what once happened, and throws it into the future.
Mhm.
Why do we remember? Why do we store things in our memory?
Mhm. Mhm.
Things that we've done if they're not going to be preserved and protected.
Mhm.
And we can see this kind of loop in trees, in actual trees, as well as the tree of life. We
Mhm.
have a seed, and the seed actually preserves the future of the tree, which of course then becomes manifest in its flowers and in its fruits. So the fruit is the outcome of the seed, but the fruit is actually preserved in the seed. So the trees that we see out there basically
Mhm.
are mini examples of resurrection and preservation and memory and the
Mhm.
importance of the connection between them.
Mhm.
So the trees are there to reassure us that if the tree is planted and it grows, then it will
Mhm.
flourish and it will have an akhirah, it will have an afterlife, and the afterlife of the seed is in the fruit.
Mhm.
So this is for us, trees growing and dying in winter and then growing again in spring and then producing fruit is a kind of, simulacrum, if you wish, of the whole process of resurrection. It's a symbol of resurrection. Just as we sleep in the evening, at night, and we wake again in the morning. All of these examples of mini resurrection are there. So I don't know whether that answers Said's question. I think he answered it himself, actually.
Absolutely.
It seemed to ask it and answer it at the same. So
I just made it much easier. I don't know to just spread an idea. Just I can.
No,
I
thank you.
wasn't sure
Thank
it's
you.
I'm gonna touch the
yeah,
reality or
I
not.
think it was a rhetorical question more than an actual question, to be honest. But leaving that to one side for the moment, this whole passage is pushing us to understand something very, very basic and yet quite complex. The divine names cannot be understood without creation.
Absolutely.
For us, it's impossible for us to understand. Reflections of an image cannot be understood without a mirror. You cannot see your face or any image actually unless there is something to show it. And that is a mirror. Even we understand this. Or if you look to a lake which is very still, you can see your reflection in there. But you need some kind of reflecting subject or object, and that is creation. So Allah's names cannot be reflected unless there are things to reflect them. Now, our problem is when we confuse the receptacle for that which is in the receptacle. So if you want to drink water, you have to drink it in a cup, right? You shouldn't really confuse the cup with the water in the cup. You shouldn't really confuse the mirror with the image in the mirror. If there is an image in the mirror, when the mirror breaks, that doesn't mean that the image is gone.
Yeah.
So, when we see things which departs, right? It says here, the flower too expresses a certain meaning. The flower is a mirror. And when it has fulfilled that duty, in other words, when it has reflected that which it is supposed to reflect, which is a configuration or a permutation of names, ever changing, as long as the flower is alive, this permutation changes as well. The names also, kullu yawman huwa fi sha'n. The names are changing, or the reflections are changing, with every second that the flower is in existence. When the flower dies, it doesn't mean that the meaning that it was reflecting has finished. The names that were reflected on it are still there. Allah has those names always. And we see the reflections. And actually, it leaves an impression in our memories, right? So we can remember how beautiful or how beautifully created the rose was last year, but it's not there anymore. But the beauty that it reflected is in our memory, and the source of it is with Allah. In His name, Jamil, Ya Jamil. And Ya Jamil is eternal, is pre-eternal and post-eternal. And what the rose is pointing to will always be there. And of course, in the next world, in heaven, and also in hell, there will still be creation, because Allah's names will always require a mirror, because even in the next world, it's not going to be mirrorless. It's not going to be without creation. The next world is created. There will always eternally be creation. And of course, it will be very different in the next world, because the veils will be fewer, and so the reflections will be much stronger, much more profound, much more intense. But there will still be mirrors. So we can never get away from the mirrors. What we have to do in order not to be heartbroken in this life is not to confuse the mirror with the image that's reflected in the mirror. It will always be there. The source will be there. And if we concentrate on the source, there is no sadness at all, because, you're not concentrating on a mirror anymore. That doesn't mean that we can do without mirrors, but we shouldn't confuse the mirror with the image. And this is inevitable. There will always, always, always be a mirror.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Excellent. Excellent. Great discussion, really. Yeah, thank you so much. How about Hikmet, would you like to say a couple things? And also, I'd like to invite you.
This was good. I think that the brothers already explained a
Really
lot.
explained.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you. Yeah.
No, thank you. Yeah, man. And I also see Ali Hocam. Would you like to say a couple things? I mean, if he's still there. Is he still there? I saw his name, but I think he's gone. Maybe he's gone. Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you.
So after Colin Hocam's comments,
Please,
something
yes, after.
clicked in my mind because
Mm-hmm.
today we went to bazaar for
Mm-hmm.
shopping. It might be
Awesome.
irrelevant, but it was
My
really
favorite,
crowded. And in Ankara traffic, there are really rude drivers, okay?
yeah.
And it is a pain to drive.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're everywhere, yeah.
so it is a really, unpleasant day for me in terms of the traffic. But my wife said, you have been in Ankara for a long time, so they were out of town, but I was in Ankara. I said, no, I was in Ankara, but not. So I was getting into my lab early in the morning and leaving it late evening. So I wasn't dealing with all of these, you
Hmm.
know, rush hour and the drivers. Um, so at that moment, the mirror was not reflecting something pleasant to me.
Hmm.
But when I go back to my days where I used to be enjoying my, driving and getting into my campus and doing my research and so on and so forth, it gives me pleasure. So
Hmm.
it is like the old days which manifested in the past, like a week or 2 weeks ago, like, and a reflection of those, a copy of those has been written into my memory. And whenever I go back to that memory and read those out, internally, it gives me pleasure. But at
Hmm.
that moment, in today's, today, what I have witnessed was not giving me pleasure. So the same goes for seeds. So the springtime comes, I mean, flowers are everywhere. Even the smell of the air changes because the nature gets back to life again, and both visually and in terms of smell, and even the wind blows in a different way. So
Hmm.
those days at some point go away, and only what remains is the pleasures that we took at those days, and what we remember from those days keeps us, gives us, becomes a source of sustenance to Adam, spiritual sustenance, and the seeds that are kind of storing all those beauties in terms of some, potential, uh, is also another window to look through, because this, for the sake of contemplation, let's say, if the springtime comes but no seeds have been preserved, then we would not have any hope for another springtime.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, so without hafiziyat, without hafs,
Hmm.
the existing pictures drawn before us might not be pleasant, and this might render it impossible for us to have hope for the upcoming days. I don't know. This might not be very clear because these ideas just came to my mind. But
Hmm.
maybe if you had,
Hmm.
if you could, get something out of what I said, maybe you can comment on this. But this hafiziyat is a source of hope,
Hmm.
because you can open the old memories. It might be it might be your own memory, and then develop some hope for the next days.
Hmm. Well, I mean, I think, I really hope that I understand you, because I'm looking for through from as an economist, like it's basically just the one of the first principles of being like thinking like an economist is just consumers they respond to incentives, and so I guess like these are like just what you said about the memories and the seeds and everything for like in the springtime, like I mean they die and they come back again. It's almost kind of incentive for human beings, just like prepare for the next, right? So like you take those like the memories, and then we know that apple is gone, but it's gonna come back next season. The tomato's gone, but next season they're gonna come, and then when tomatoes come, we immediately will recognize them. So that means like you're just basically you somehow make yourself busy with it. And then, of course, I mean, the same way, like you just said, sometimes maybe you don't feel those, maybe, like you just said, the names of Allah and those kind of like a nice feelings, and you encounter like a maybe bad ones, but it is almost kind of like a little bit of kind of challenge at the same time, or maybe it's just a little bit of kind of warning sometimes, depending, of course, what sort of kind of situation that we're facing with. So like maybe it is kind of a little bit of kind of saying that, hey, maybe just change your angle a little bit and make yourself busy with, like you just said, if your first comment immediately made me like to remember the importance of like for that fourth matter, right? Like the center of the circle. Don't go outside and don't make yourself like really kind of busy, or like I mean somehow saturated with like unnecessary like kind of political or this and that like kind of matters. Just stay focused at the center. I mean, that's what I can just like think of at the moment. But I don't know, like maybe Konujam has got like something to say about this. Konujam, what would you like to say, Sadhujam's comment about the reflections and the memory, and then of course some of those feelings that we get?
Yeah, I think memory is very important, obviously, particularly when it comes to the memory of good things.
Hmm.
And also, in very, very, how can we say, mundane
Hmm.
things like CBT, for example, it's based
Hmm.
on memory.
Yeah.
Actually, if you have CBT therapy for anything, they
Hmm.
will say that, you shouldn't base anything on a bad memory, even though we do. I mean, we shouldn't go into the traffic in Ankara thinking that, well, it was bad last time, so it's going to be bad this time.
Yeah.
Because I had a really bad time.
Yeah.
Okay, it may be, maybe it
Hmm.
will be, but
Yeah.
sometimes you get surprised. So
Yes.
I think what we do is we set ourselves up for bad experiences or
Hmm.
negative experiences, right?
Hmm.
And unless it keeps happening every time, then that's trying to tell you something.
Hmm.
But the thing is to go back with that idea, you've already actually, first of all, you've probably pushed your blood pressure up a little bit, which
Hmm.
isn't good. And secondly, you've also taken a stand against it in your head
Hmm.
already. And we have to make excuses even for the traffic in Ankara.
Hmm.
We have to make excuses because otherwise we have a negative experience. We get anxious, we get angry, we may even
Hmm.
fight.
Yeah.
Extreme scenario.
Hmm.
Um, so memory is a double-edged sword. If the memory is of something wonderful, then that's good.
Hmm.
If it's of something that was very, very negative, we have to say, well, that happened once, it may not happen again.
Yeah.
Let's go into it with a very different mindset. Like,
Hmm.
for example, you have to do something that's really, really boring,
Yeah.
a repetitive task that's really, really boring.
Right.
Um, then if you say, I'm going to have to do this today, it's going to take me 2 hours to do this. It's really like cleaning the house, for example.
Right.
I've got to clean the house. It's going to take me 2 hours. It's really, really boring. I could be doing something else. Well, actually, no. Cleaning the house actually is a worship if it's done properly.
Hmm.
If it's done, with, thinking of Ya Quddus, Allah is pure. Allah is free
Hmm.
from all
Yeah.
deficit, from
Absolutely.
all
Yeah.
deficiency.
Absolutely.
My
Hmm.
house is quite dirty. I need to clean it. And so I will
Hmm.
do it in the name of Ya Quddus. And I will
Hmm.
make dhikr of Ya Quddus, Ya Mutahhir, all of these things. There are ways around it.
Yeah.
So memory is one thing, but memory can be a test. A
Hmm.
test of our patience, a test of our negativities, all of these things. I don't know whether that's an answer,
Hmm.
but that's what came to mind anyway.
Well, that's a great comment. Thank you. Yeah. So, Aljan, what do you think? Yeah.
Said
Well,
has been raising his hand
yes,
for a long time. Maybe he might
Hmm.
have.
yeah, I can wait if anyone's
Oh, sure.
jump in.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah. Totally. So certainly.
Well,
Yes. Mhm. Go ahead.
I was going to actually say, can we say regarding this fifth principle? There's the English exam.
Hmm.
What's the most accurate summary or just core idea regarding the paragraph? Can we say this everything's in the seen world, the real world is abstract side of abstract everything will be eternal, regardless. It can be related to human being or just spirit or anything. Just any. There's a the technology what we see in the screen there's a quotes behind, and even the picture we see there's digits behind it. So, 1 0, and it
Right.
all goes to the root.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a meaning, because Stott gives example is the word which related to hearing, but he says the meaning is staying there, word is disappearing, and then give another example for flower. It's related or eyes,
Right.
but then he says the memories we capture the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So and then finalize with the human being spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So says, give an example, and then make connection with the abstract reality of the thing, and they're the eternal. So can we say everything's there's an abstract unseen world, and they will be the eternal?
Can
And
I
of
add
course,
something?
then eventually, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's actually a good comment. Who would like to say something? Saluja, would you like to say? Yeah, what's Said's question?
I would ask Golden Hocam to handle
Sure.
this side.
Certainly. Konuşacağım.
So, Corina, we just wanted to, Nazif
No,
abi just wanted to say a couple sentences. Then I
please.
don't know that my understanding about this.
Mhm.
So this paragraph, that my understanding that I will try to share it. Two things that is being hidden, or just in, at least in my understanding. When you look at the Alemi Shahadat right now in the world, we need to understand that the memory is very important in terms of that human growth and understanding the future. For instance, if you have a kid 2 years old, and if you are at the age of building to the second floor, he doesn't understand that he's going to fall down, right? We warn him, hey, come back because you can fall, because he didn't experience, he didn't understand the level or falling and everything. So that type of memory is basically that the Ism Hafiz is just is the clearly there, and then Levhi Mahfuz is just connected to that. So that memory in this world is helping us to grow and then understand and how we need to move forward. And in this current world, when you look at the hereafter, and we need to be understanding that everything is going to be protected. Everything is going to be in the memory, meaning that in the left mahfuz that is written, so that every single step that we are taking, we need to understand that there's a camera that they are taking us, and then it's going to be stored. So that we can give a lot of examples from the worldly life and our life, and the flash memories and computers and everything. So if you split it into two perspective, and we can just adjust our life based on that what has been written. So in that paragraph, it's clearly that we can split it into two. In this world, maybe that some of the hobbies already explained that that memory is going to help us to understand that how we need to move forward and how we need to live, because in this world we are not like animal that we know understanding or we have a great knowledge already in the past. So based on this experience Allah is giving us, that we understand so we can learn. So this is what I wanted to say, and then you guys were giving some example about the traffic and everything. And the other hereafter, that if you think about it, the memory is going to be really important. That means that every single steps and words and we are using and everything that we are doing is going to be protected, stored, and then it's going to be brought to us. We'll bring to completely same way. So we will see that as well. And hereafter, nothing is going to be completely vanished or completely destroyed, and it is going to be stored in the Lawh Mahfuz that I always connected that Hafiz, divine name, is connected to completely Lawh Mahfuz as well. That's what I always connected to that. So I split it into two parts, and then I don't know that if it is answer or it's just wanted to share. This is all
Thank
I
you.
wanted to say.
No, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's a great, different topic and angle. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, Konuşacağım. Anything to say to Hikmet Hocam's comment and Salih Hocam's, and of course Said Hocam's question?
Yeah, Hikmat's made a great point, and I'm still getting my head around it a little bit. But I was slightly distracted by the question that came.
Mhm.
I think from Said, right?
Right. Yeah.
about abstract, and he didn't say what the opposite of abstract would be, or the complement would be, I suppose, concrete, if we're thinking about this world, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, exactly.
Right. If we're thinking about abstract and concrete, then if this alam shahada is the concrete, and again, I think that's a bit problematic, but then the divine names would be abstract. But I think this is a philosophical distinction, right? So in philosophy, we have this distinction between the token and the type. The token is, we could see that alam shahada is the physical objects, the concrete objects that we see, the trees, for example, the rivers, people. They are kind of samples or tokens of a particular type of thing, and that is the abstract object, right? So, for example, in a football match, the actual match, the 22 players, the ball, the net, and everything, that's the concrete, but football itself is abstract. I'm not sure we can do that metaphysically and say that alam shahada is concrete, is the concrete entities, and the divine names are abstract.
Yes, which is
Because
eternal.
yes, but I mean it's not
Alim
abstract in the
Shahadat
sense.
will
Yeah,
take
carry
us
on.
to the
Sorry.
eternal eternity. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, but I'm not sure whether we can conceptualize it in terms of abstract and concrete. I don't know how helpful it is, because abstract actually, football has no existence outside of uh, players on a pitch playing a particular game. Football is abstract in the sense of it has no existence really. It has a kind of reality, but it has no external existence. Now, people may say, well, of course, Allah has no external existence, but what does that mean? We can only talk about external because we are external and He's not. But to say that, for example, He only has an external reality and not an external existence, we're using categories which pertain to created beings. So I don't find it that helpful. But what I think when you say that, yes, Alam Shahada, everything in Alam Shahada points to something which is eternal, but the things which we see in Alam Shahada are not eternal in and of themselves. They can be, you can say, we could say abadi bil ghair, right? They can exist eternally. We will exist eternally, but we are not innately eternal. So anything that's not innately eternal is dependent on that which is eternal and is also pointing to that which is eternal. So in that sense, yes, we can say that the flower is concrete. It's not eternal, but its meaning is eternal.
Yeah.
Yes,
And the
but
flower
that was
itself,
I was naming.
right? Yeah,
I was maybe my so you said my wording was not the correct wording when I say abstract, but I actually totally agree the point you are
yeah.
making.
Okay.
But the wording I think you seems problematic. I guess you're trying to explain the wording
Yeah,
was
to
not
an
to
extent,
choose.
I think we can understand it maybe superficially as being concrete and abstract, just for taghrib bizehn, right? Just for so that the mind can
Absolutely.
understand
Yeah.
it. But ultimately, the divine names are not abstract in the sense that we usually understand abstract entities.
Yeah, I appreciate. Yes, sir.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, great. Yeah, great discussion. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely. And finally, Sadhujam, what would you like to add the last comments and Sadhujam's question and overall your first comment or your first comment that you made.
So I think Kolomajam covered the question pretty
Mhm.
accurately, and it's a deep topic, and I'm not kind of fit for discussing that matter because it has breadth and depth. But if I go back to my point, which I couldn't make very clearly, I think as I've been thinking about this, so the point that I was trying to make was, so in good days we are observing the names of Allah and we appreciate it, but in difficult days it is very possible that we cannot appreciate the manifestation of ness, because I might be lacking the maturity, intellectual and spiritual maturity, appreciate whatever is being manifested. But in reality, Allah is all good, all beautiful. Whatever He does is good. Whatever does is beautiful. In difficult days, it is often a good practice, at least for me, to go back to the good day memories of the good days, and then remind myself that there has been good days, there has been beautiful moments, there has been beautiful memories that I have collected with my dear friends and my family. So it becomes a window to look through and then remind me of the fact that Allah's names are all beautiful, all good. And Ustad is also doing similar things as well, because so he often goes back to the old days where he used to teach his, old students in the old site days, even further, even before those days. So, uh, so keeping or creation of the seeds, in my understanding, serves a similar purpose. To us, it might not be obvious that Allah is giving life, giving beautiful life, giving all types of beauties all the time. But having the seed, which is in material form, is a kind of an object for us to remind ourselves that Allah is the giver of life. He is going to give life again, although it might be the winter time. Because if He did not have the seed, although Allah would be creating the next spring, we wouldn't have any mirror in which the Ismi Hafiziyah is manifesting on. So we would not
Right.
have the mirror, but for names of Allah to be observed and sensed and felt by us, there has to be some sort of mirror. If we
Right.
did not have the seed, which is the mirror in this case, then it would be, if not impossible, would be more difficult for us to uh, be keep our awareness that Allah is going to give life, give the beautiful springtime again. I don't know if I could make this more clear. Maybe the idea is not that clear to me, but when Kolumajam was making this nice comment about without the mirror, the manifestation would not be observable to us. And see, in this case, becomes the mirror, and without it, it would be impossible or almost, very difficult for us to, remember the existence of hereafter. And Allah is Jameel in ways, in all ways.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. That's a good comment. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think like it's just for the comparison reasons, I believe. Wasn't that Konraja, that you point that you were making? Or comparing
Sorry, comparing.
the image and the mirror example.
Yes, I think so. We can't escape the image
Yeah.
because Allah is Khaliq, right? And we are makhluk. We can't,
Absolutely.
and we don't want to, because this is what gives us our existence and what gives us, our eternity. It gives us our everything, the image. But unfortunately, or fortunately, well, both, fortunately and unfortunately, the image comes through a mirror, and because we are also mirrors ourselves, and we love ourselves, we love mirrors as well.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, we sometimes mistake the mirror for the image. So we've spoken a lot about it, and Ustad also talks
Absolutely.
about it
Yeah.
a lot. If you
Yeah.
look in the small bubble or the small droplet of water or the small piece of glass, and you see the sun reflected in it, if you think that the sun is actually in the mirror and belongs to the mirror and has
Yeah.
been generated by the mirror, then you're going to fall in love with the mirror.
Yeah.
It makes sense, right? If I
Absolutely.
think that the
Absolutely. That's right.
Jamal is in a certain person, that certain person has that Jamal, then I'm going to fall in love with that person, right? So this is both our salvation and our downfall,
Yeah.
because it's our salvation if we can see past the mirror, right? And we
Yeah.
say, no, the mirror is just a mirror, and
Mhm.
Alhamdulillah that it exists, but it's not the source. I have to focus on the source. I will respect the mirror, but I won't worship it. So this is our salvation. And by the very same token, if we see the beauty in the mirror and we say the mirror is the source of the beauty because I can't see anything else but the mirror, then this is our downfall.
Yeah.
So the same scenario, the same situational reality can lead either to our salvation or to our, eternal damnation, in a sense. This is part of the tragedy of being human and also the bounty of being human.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, great comment. Yeah, absolutely. So just like you just said, so like we've been talking about like for, but of course we need some reminder over and over, maybe every day, for this just to stay focused, right? Like in some of the first comment, yeah, we made. So these are like somehow like it seems all the things like we read every Sunday. So they're very simple, but yet how much we need them. Yeah, right. So like that's just basically the point. Like we're coming back again, and a lot of people like they criticize like, why you guys are gonna reading this? Like this is so simple. Yeah, there's a lot. There's just his names and everything, and just boom, that's it. No, it's not that that sort of kind of we cannot just dismiss it. We need to like it's basically just repeat it every day and remind each other every day and never just leave the focus from the fourth matter. Just stay at the center. At the center is just correcting ourselves and then just maybe a little bit try to reach to our beloved ones around us, like maybe like this type of kind of circle. That's about it. So, and then the other like in the matters or just the other like in whatever like happening around us. Yeah, we maybe like in somehow like just understand it, but we shouldn't get involved with it. Like you just the mirror that you just said. Yeah, you see some other kind of like an attractive like and it's maybe news and this and that like it's whatever like and it's happening. Yes, they're very tempting. But we need to be like you just said, yeah, it shouldn't be our downfall. It should be our salvation. So how can we use it and yeah, and for our help? Awesome, awesome. All right. So final comments. Maybe I should call like it has been last 5 minutes. And Hikmat Hocam, Saad Hocam, would you like to make like the or Kol Hocam, all of you, any last words for a couple of minutes?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Yeah, Saad Hocam. Yeah, go ahead.
It reminded me what Kol Najam said, and brothers, they're discussing on the image and mirror.
Please, yeah.
Is that in the fourth ray, explaining the Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil at the very beginning of this first degree of luminous ayah, Hasbunallah, for us, Allah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah.
At the very beginning, very beautifully, Ustad is explaining that we can confuse, our point of focus.
Right.
And may focus on the temporary mirrors, but
Right.
due to heedlessness can fall into love to the temporary mirror shadows. I not to read that part because of shadow. Because of a shadow in my essential being, or a manifestation of one or the names of one of the glory and perfection, who possessing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, possessing absolute perfection, is of himself and for no other reason worthy of love. I had an innate desire for immortality, directed not to my own immortality, but to the existence, perfection, and immortality of that absolutely perfect one, the Kamil one. However, due to the heedlessness, that innate love had lost its way, become attached to the shadow and enamored with of the mirror of immortality. Then the ayah, Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. For us, Allah suffices, and He is the best disposer of affairs. Raised the veil, I saw and felt and experienced at a degree of absolute certainty, haqq al-yaqeen, that the pleasure and happiness of my immortality lay exactly and in more perfect form in the immortality of the enduring one of perfection, in affirming my sustainer and Allah, and in believing in Him and submitting to Him. For an undying truth was realized through immortality, the insight of Iman established that my essential being is the shadow or a divine name which is both enduring and eternal. So it is Baqi and Sarmadi. So it goes on, this fourth ray, very beautiful explaining. Hasbunallah Allah wa ni'mal wakeel. It's a very spiritual, treatise, and very deep in fact. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, perfect, perfect. Just Mujam, thank you so much. Yeah, I really love that you brought it up. Yeah, mashallah. Thank you so much. Sometimes you feel like there's even there's no answer, but yeah, it's just some like another brother just pops up and just awesome, awesome. Really excellent, awesome. Great like part that you shared with us. Thank you so much. All right, yeah. Anyone else? Last words or something? Konuşacağım, sadece, or anyone else?
Not really, except
Mhm.
Jesme is absolutely right about the fourth ray.
Oh
It's
yeah,
amazing and
yeah,
very difficult to translate.
absolutely. Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Yeah. All right then. So if there's no other comment, I would like to thank Kon Hocam, Salih Hocam, and Hikmet Hocam, and Said Hocam, and Kadir Hocam for thank you so much for being with us and that your insights and comments. I really enjoyed them. Thank you so much for being with us this week.
Thank you for your moderating as always.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Absolutely, my pleasure. All right, so since we have Jismujam like right there, so please, Jismujam, let's just close it up for this week and say goodbyes. And please make dua and everything.
Yes. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. صدق الله العظيم. اللهم فهمنا أسرار القرآن ووفقنا لخدمته في كل آن وزمان. آمين. O Allah, grant us understanding of the mysteries of the Quran and the success and service of it and at every instant at all times. آخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة.